It's 11 a.m. on the East Coast, and we're learning more about a deadly Army helicopter crash in Kentucky. 9 soldiers were killed in the collision between 2 Black Hawk choppers during a routine training mission last night. The crash involved two 101st Airborne Division helicopters flying over Trigg County, Kentucky, which is just northwest of the Fort Campbell Army base.
I would like to thank the first responders from Trigg County and the Kentucky State Police for the rapid and professional response and for their continued support. The Army has deployed an aircraft safety team from Fort Rucker, Alabama, who will arrive later today and will immediately initiate an investigation to help us understand what caused this crash in order to prevent accidents like this from happening again.
CBS News digital journalist Kila Peeples is just outside Fort Campbell. She is following this story for us. Kila, I know there was a press conference in the last couple of hours. What have we learned about the crash and the aftermath?
Well, Vlad, the press conference actually just ended probably about 45 minutes ago, and we learned quite a bit about what happened during this tragedy. What we learned is that 2 Black Hawk helicopters crashed approximately around 10 p.m. last night, killing all 9 service members on board. There were 5 in one helicopter, 4 in another, and that is typical. And they were doing a training with night vision goggles. They were fortunately not around any other houses or the city, so they actually crashed in a residential field, so there were no other injuries that occurred. And first responders came out as quickly as they could, but unfortunately all 9 were not able to be saved.
I know we heard earlier that they haven't released the actual identities of these soldiers because they're notifying next of kin. But have we learned sort of anything more about them and, who is most likely to be on these helicopters?
Yes, well, all of the service members were from Fort Campbell, and some are local, so the family members that are going to be contacted, some of them are local, some of them are across the country, and others are overseas. So this is going to take a little bit of time, and before we can learn anything about who the 9 members were on board, they're going to have to contact the families, and then we'll learn more information about them.
And what did the governor have to say, Kila, when he made an appearance earlier this morning?
Well, the governor was visibly moved and visibly upset. He said this was a tough and tragic day for not just Fort Campbell, but for the 101st Division and for the state of Kentucky. He said that everyone is going to work together to make sure that the families and the people all around this community are taken care of. So this is unfortunately a sad and tragic event, so they're going to need that support. And he says that he is going to be working with the Tennessee governor to make sure that everyone is supported.
All right, Kila, thank you very much.